This is going to be exciting. When you start reading a book, you are all excited about getting that knowledge. But just 5 minutes later, you are daydreaming crazy shit. It might take you a minute or two to start realize that you are actually daydreaming. And now when you want to get back to the reading, you are all lost. The reason why you are here is basically you want to improve your reading and you want to do it fast. When you want to speed read, you might think that you are going to lose some comprehension. Now that reminds me of a quote. Reading comprehension does not equal wisdom. Comprehension is for a test. Wisdom is for your life. What do you do when you don't understand the meaning of a particular line? You go back to the previous line. To get that 1 to 2% of understanding, you are literally losing 20 to 30% of your speed. Also, when you backtrack, your mind goes into slow motion mode. And slow motion mode is equivalent to boredom. I have faced all of these problems. Reading fast is much easier than you think. After watching this video, you will not only understand how to speed read, but also how to make sense of whatever you have read. Just a week ago, I was getting a lot of requests regarding making a video on speed reading. So in this video, I'll be sharing some of my techniques that I personally use so that I can read at least 2 books per week. Let's start off with the tip number 1. Make the book alive. The major mistake that I did when I started reading books was to focus only on the book but not on the author. Tell me, how would you read a book if author wrote it only for you? It's extremely important to understand the author before start reading a book. Before reading any book by any author, first I would go to YouTube and watch any talk given by that author, especially TED Talks. Also take a look at the index and get sense of all the chapter that is provided in this book. In that way you will properly understand what to expect from this book, and that will help you a lot when you start reading the book. Now coming to the tip number 2. So what senses do we use while reading a book? Obviously our eyes. Also, we use our ears too. The voice that you hear when you start reading a book, it's called subvocalization. But the major role is played by your eyes. To understand speed reading, you first need to know how your eyes move when you start reading a book. Let me just give you an example. So, I hope you can see it. So, when you start reading a book, this is how your eye is going to move. From this word to this word to this word and so on. And then it will start go vertical and again go horizontal. Okay, in that way. Again vertical. So the movement is like this. First the horizontal, then vertical. Again horizontal, vertical. So what's happening is it's too much for your eyes. The thing is, when you start reading a book, your eyes doesn't read in a linear way. It has to take breaks just like this. From this word to this word to this word and so on. It's too much of a strain for your eyes. In that way you are bound to feel tired, and that's just how we are taught to read. That's the traditional way. So what's the first thing that we can do to improve your reading? When you read a certain paragraph, most of the words are really not that useful. What you need is keyword, and draw a mental picture of particular paragraph from that keyword. Now when you are watching this video, if I raise the hand, you can see my hand too, and that's your peripheral vision at work. But what you are trying to focus on is me. Similarly, when you read a book, suppose you are starting from first paragraph. Now all of this region, this extra region is unnecessary. You don't need that. When you start reading a certain page, all you need to focus on this part. So this should be at center of your focus. You really don't need to worry about if you are missing some of the keywords, because when you start reading, some of the understanding will get filled up by the next line. So instead of going word to word in horizontal fashion, you can scan each line in vertical fashion, and your peripheral vision will help you pick up the keywords from either of the two sides, and in that way you will have that mental picture for every single paragraph. This might seem tough at the beginning, but when you get the idea, you will quickly understand what a particular paragraph is trying to tell you, and that's what you need. You don't need to store every single word the author is telling you in your memory. All you need is an idea and a mental picture of that idea, and vertical scanning will do just that for you. The tip number 3 that I'm gonna share is my favorite. So what a book is? Book is nothing but the collection of paragraphs. There is a thing about paragraphs. The first line is an introduction and the last line is conclusion. So before reading any paragraph, first read the first line and then the last line. In that way, you will get the idea of what this paragraph is gonna trying to teach you, and then just apply our vertical scanning technique and you are good to go. So this technique might hamper your speed by 1 to 2%, but your sense of understanding the paragraph will be a lot better. This technique is must if you want to get a better sense of understanding while reading fast. The third tip is unlearn the traditional reading. You can't expect to learn something new if you think your cup is already full. There are people, especially world reading champions, who has improved their reading speed by 500%. So it just shows you the possibility of using these techniques. Also, there is one bonus tip I would like to share with all of you. When you start reading a book, you can't store literally every single word in your memory. Rather, you should look at a book as what area of life it will help you to improve on. And all you need to do is just extract 5 ideas from the book on how to do it. That's it. No need to memorize every single definition, every single sentence from a book. All you need is 5 key ideas. That's why it's important to understand an author by watching one of his talks, as I shared in tip 1. So there you have it. If you have any techniques that you found useful in your reading journey, tell everyone in the comments below. It will help our community. I hope you find this video helpful. If you have anything to suggest, let me know in the comment section too. So yeah, I will see you next Saturday. Thanks for watching.